Welcome back to the weekly news roundup. This is the business edition, and we're going to end today with some SillyVille. So stick around to the end. These are recorded live Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if you'd like to catch the show live. And let's go ahead and dive right on into the business network, business news. First, an update. Verizon is going to delay the shutdown of the 3D network. And so with this, what they're actually doing is you can't go in and reactivate your old 3G flip phone on Verizon. Sorry, but what you can do is you can be prevented from having to buy a new smartphone and a new phone. As long as your old 3G phone on the old network still works, they're not forcing you off of it. Originally, they were going to do it at the end of 2019. They delayed it probably because of the COOF, and then they are delaying it again. So they do not have any date when the Verizon 3G network is going to be shut down. So you guys utilizing your 3G phones on Verizon will have some more time to stay on the service without getting anything else. And another fun update. I love reading updates like this one. Court says Uber cannot hold users to terms they probably didn't read. Now, sorry guys, this doesn't mean that terms of service are not applicable, simply because what the difference is here is that in their case, the person did not have to check a box that they agreed that they had read the terms. Signing up for Uber, at least at the time this person signed up for it, just required going in, and they had a statement at the bottom saying, if you create this account, you acknowledge that you've read it. Well, in that case, the court says, no, that's not a valid reason to hold somebody to it. So this boils down to a case of a person who has a disability with a dog, a medical dog, and so, or guide dog rather. And so the drivers were refusing service, but in the Uber terms of service, you are forced into a binding arbitration instead of a court case. He was trying to sue them for violations of the ADA. But they said, no, you have to arbitrate. But the judge came down and said, no, because of the way the sign-up forms worked, you cannot hold him to arbitration. Now, this doesn't immediately go into a court case. What happens now is it has to go back up to the previous court to determine what to do at this point in time. But anyway, hey, I like seeing Uber sweat. So guys, remember, every time you hail an Uber, every single time you hail an Uber, a little kitty somewhere gets clubbed. So don't hail Ubers, okay? ExamSoft's proctoring software has some face detection problems, particularly if you're a little bit darker toned than I am. So yeah, the ExamSoft service that many students are being forced onto with no exception or anything else apparently cannot spot you if you're black. Go figure. So research, of course, always finds facial ID, facial recognition things don't seem to work. But this guy writes, the ExamSoft software can't recognize me due to poor lighting. Even though I'm sitting in a well-lit room, starting to think nothing has to do with lighting. Pretty sure we all predicted their face recognition software wouldn't work for people of color. Oh boy. This guy says, I finally figured out on my own, 4 hours later, still on hold with ExamSoft chat rep, how to get my mock exam, only to be told that the system can't recognize me. I am in a boardroom with all of the lights on and the sun is still up. Make it make sense. Basically, it says, due to poor lighting, we are unable to identify you. And please ensure there's adequate lighting. That's right, guys. That's right. See, school's only for white people. Get it right. Get it right. We're pushing this technology on people, guys. We need to stop, all right? Every school, you need to have an offline option. Especially if I'm paying you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to go to school. Let me tell you something. If I need an exam proctored, I'm going to the pastor of my church. If you cannot trust my clergy to properly proctor an exam for me, I'm sorry, give me my money back. And that'll be interesting to see. Are any of these students going to get money back for not being able to complete classes because they were forced onto software that wouldn't work? That's an interesting legal question. Very fascinating. So yeah, ExamSoft, along with nearly every one of these guys, yeah, they just don't seem to work well if you happen to be a little bit darker than a white dude. Comcast, of course, as we mentioned earlier, Comcast has some new data caps. So, of course, for those of us here in the final states, now every one of the territories that Comcast does business in now has 1.2 terabyte data caps. So for the rest of us that just got the caps, for the first, is it 3 months, I think, up until April, you will not see any fees. They're going to charge you for the extra fees, and then they're going to credit you the difference and warn you about it. Starting in April, you will be billed an extra, I think it's $10 for 50 gigabytes up to a maximum cap of $100 extra. So you can be paying $100 extra more dollars for your internet. The problem is there's a bunch of Congress people who, I had to say Congress people, see, because Congress and the new rules of Congress, you're not allowed to use gendered language, just an FYI. It's how crazy we're getting. Congressmen, a few congressmen, did say, Comcast, you yourself testified that there is no strain on your network because of the pandemic and everybody forced to go home. This looks to me like a giant cash grab. All of these kids are forced to do school at home. All these employees are forced to do work at home. Everyone is using infinitely more data than they have been in the past because of changes, radical changes in lifestyle over the last couple of years. And so now what's happening here is Comcast is now raising this up. So some Congress people are going, congressmen, maybe a woman in there too, but a congressman are sitting here saying, no, you, what are you doing? You're saying you're not stressed. This is nothing more than a cash grab. Now, is this going to change anything? I don't know. If there's enough pressure on them, maybe they push back the caps a few more months. But I don't really see this changing a whole lot because it's Comcast. They'll just go and buy themselves a couple of congressmen. They're going to go in and bring in a nice dozen donuts to each congressperson's offices and be like, hey, just here, I'll slip you an extra. Just have a look at the stack of thousands under the stacks of donuts and we'll be fine because 1 month on their data caps, they'll make that back. I'll tell you that. So very interesting. All right, so Dell has a new automated webcam shutter. So the idea here is it basically is an automated piece. So it's under here. Here's kind of a cutout of it. Let's see if I make that bigger. And not significantly, but anyway, good enough. So it's within here. So anytime the camera triggers on, this little motorized shutter goes zzz. I just think this is useless, guys. Put a piece of tape over it. Put some other device over the camera that's going to prevent the camera from being seen. Way better, because you get a little mechanical thing like this. It's going to fail. It's going to have some issues. We're going to have some problems with it. And frankly, do I trust it? I don't know. Cool effort. I'll give you an A for an effort. I'll give you maybe a C for execution. But yeah, I'm still going to cover it with a piece of tape, whatever else like that. So that's kind of my take on the matter. And now we get into a few Windows stories because Windows is back, baby. First, Microsoft is planning a sweeping visual rejuvenation of Windows. Microsoft wants to say Windows is back. Windows is back, baby. Windows is back. So they're basically, Jason, on a job listing here. On this team, you will work with our key platform service and OEM partners to orchestrate and deliver a sweeping visual rejuvenation of Windows experiences to signal to our customers that Windows is back, to ensure that Windows is considered the best user OS experience for customers. I love some of the comments. Let's see. Make Start go full screen and do a horizontal scroll. A+ for that comment. So, yeah, if you want my opinion, Windows, give us the ability to edit your stupid start menu again. But Windows is not done yet. Next, they are going to get rid of, let's do this one next. Next, because this is a Windows interface. Windows 10 Taskbar is getting a big update. News and weather widgets. Okay, I can admit this is okay. If I can look down and just kind of see that partly cloudy, I don't really want to see more. I don't really want to see news updates. But if I can look down on the screen in the taskbar and see the weather, I'm actually about that. I'm okay. I'm supporting this Windows change. But of course, it's going to start collecting a bunch of data and feed you personalized information that it thinks you want to see. But they did say there's not going to be ads in this. yet. Okay, I'm sure we will see ads pop up in this. If people click on this a lot and access this a lot, you better bet your petunias that Windows is going to start cramming ads in that thing, baby. They're putting ads in your start menu and in your file manager. You think they're not going to put ads on a news aggregator on your task manager? I'm sorry, that's insane. But I do like the ability of just seeing the weather really quick down there. I do not want them to have access to location, but things like, hey, we have to have your location services turned on. No, I'm going to tell you where I'm at. There's a thought. No word or not if it can work with or without location, but hey, whatever. And on to the last Windows story. Microsoft is now planning to get rid of the desktop Outlook app in favor of the unified web app. So, hey, no more Outlook program. Everything will simply be the online app. This is a stupid idea because if you're using the Outlook app and you have your email system configured in such a way that makes intelligent sense, even if your internet goes out, you can still access your email, which you might need to do some of your work. You might have a whole lot of your project specs inside your email, and if it's on your computer because you have your client configured correctly, then you can access that even if the internet goes out. But this, oh no, you need to access the web to access it. So they're working on this new project called Project Monarch, which is going to replace all Microsoft email clients, including the default web app, and it's just going to be a progressive web app. You just put it on your system and whatever. Not a huge fan of that type of stuff, but hey, what can you do, right? So that is our Windows stuff. If you want to help support the channel, have a look at our affiliates. Today we are highlighting Linode. So I'm doing a lot more experimentation with Linode actually right now. In fact, I might even build up my next client-facing servers on Linode. I'm going to give it a little test, see how it runs. Of course, I do run our Jitsi servers on Linode, and I do have an ISP config test build server that I'm running on Linode as well. So for sure, we are actually doing some good things on Linode. Use my affiliate code there, tlm.li/Linode. You will get $100 in credit, which is good for 60 days of spinning up as many Linodes as you want to test and poke and prod and see what all Linode can do for you. So go ahead and have a look at that. It helps support the channel. And on to our SillyVille news. Of course, because they're on the risk of extinction and the coof is bad, now we're vaccinating ferrets. Okay. All right. Well, better them than me, I guess. But yeah, ferrets, minks, and other is it Mustelini species? I don't know how to pronounce that one. Are all susceptible to the coof. So let's round these bad boys up and vaccinate them so we don't have to engage in a Norwegian mass grave of minks. But yeah, goes into a whole lot of fine detail about the vaccines and vaccinating these guys because of the coof. That's right, guys. That's right. So if we start seeing zombie mink in your area, just don't worry about it. It's vaccinated stuff with the zombie vaccine. You know, that's how it worked in I Am Legend, right? Given the vaccine, everyone turns into zombies. I think we're already there though. Mask zombies. Oh, anyway, today I learned that your Apple Watch can double as a vlogging viewfinder. Great example of working with what you got. There you go. This is classy. So here he's using his, I can't figure out what's going on here. So the picture is him with his camera, but that's clearly not the view he's holding it in because his hand is technically covering the camera up here. So I'm not sure if this is actually an accurate representation. Maybe it is. But hey, if you do need to use the rear viewing camera to vlog instead of the front facing, because it is a much better camera, granted, using your watch here as a viewfinder is an epic use for a watch. Now, that is an extraordinarily expensive viewfinder, so be careful of that. But this is definitely vlogging with what you got, and I am all over vlogging with what you got. Definitely interesting though. Very, very interesting indeed. So here you go. Here's another setup of it. He's got his his iPhone here with the camera mount, and he's got his watch around the camera so he can watch what he's doing over here. This is quite epic, I gotta say. There's just some watch stuff going on. So there you have it, guys. If you do have an Apple Watch and an iPhone and you're looking for the most expensive vlogging platform on the planet, I mean, really, guys, you can get a good solid 4K camera and some professional equipment with what this equipment's going to cost you. But hey, you probably already financed your phone, so whatever, you know. And finally, our last story, returning to the COOF, we did have that giant big fluff bill for COVID, among other things that saw Pakistani transgender studies and a Sri Lankan boat getting fixed, and a whole lot of foreign aid for a lot of fairly wealthy countries, while our own country are like, hey, here's your $600, which, by the way, $600 is less than half my rent for the month. Thank you, federal government, for watching my back. Let's make a deal, federal government. This year, I would like you to simply not collect any more taxes from me, and I just won't accept any money from you. How's that? That would be a much better trade-off. But anyway, that being said, one of the parts of what was in the COVID bill is a 180-day countdown for UFO disclosures. That's right. As soon as this bill was signed into office, part of this COVID relief bill was to let us know in 180 days if UFOs are real. It happened, guys. It happened. The countdown to the UFO disclosure is here. It is here. And it was in the $2.3 trillion COVID relief and government funding bill. Now, I'm pretty sure that was probably part of the funding bill. I think the headline's probably a little sensationalist, but because I didn't read either bill, I mean, who has time to read 6,000 pages that they had 2 hours to read? Okay, that is about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, that is about this tall. Okay, this tall. That is how big the bills were that they had 2 hours. When they got the bill, they had 2 hours to vote on it. Every person who voted on it should be thrown in jail right now. This isn't we got to pass the bill so we can see what's in it. No, I would like my legislators to read the bill to know if it's something they should pass. Just a thought. Just a thought. So I don't know if this UFO alien thing was in the COVID part or the government funding bill, but nevertheless, one vote passed both bills, and now in 180 days, we will see if UFOs are real. Congratulations, people. We are now in a banana republic. But at least we'll know if the space aliens are coming. But guys, I can already tell you, I'm a space alien. The aliens are coming. The aliens are coming. I am a reptilian alien. I am good friends with some of the Greys. We're all watching, but we're all kind of abandoning this planet. We're going, these people are insane. Let's get out of here before we get whatever they got. So anyway, there's that, guys. Have a look in the links in the comments in the description down below. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching this video from Switched to Linux. This channel would not be possible without the backing of the program supporters scrolling on the screen now. You can be a supporter at Patreon at patreon.com/TOMM or at thinklifemedia.com. I also want to thank the open source community who creates such excellent software that makes producing this show possible. Please remember to support your software communities. Thank you, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.